So I went on Twitter the other day and was like, hey, ask anything Hearthstone related and I will make a giant video out of that. Well, this is the video. Let's look at a bunch of questions you guys have and let's answer them, because there are lifelong questions that are going to be answered here. Secrets. Unveiled? Reeled? Here's the video. How does it feel to waste 500 euros on Angora packs? I always wondered. Well, Grosscuts, first off, I hate you. Second of all, you're a pretty beautiful person. Third of all, it's only 400, actually 395, because Amazon coins, which I'm not sponsored by because I don't know why. Wanna hit me up? But yeah, I bought a bunch of Angora packs because I thought if Open the Waygate gets nerfed and it's the only legendary missing, I'm guaranteed to open that. Yeah, they changed that and I didn't know. This smile tells you all my emotions. I was happy. Why is Solem the best Hearthstone YouTuber? Well, Mr. Reach Ice Kilbin, there are multiple reasons. First off, I can't see without glasses. Second of all, I'm pretty pale. Third of all, I'm not the best YouTuber. That's you. But your kind words make my heart go... Does that make sense? Thank you, Regis. Do you think that the addition of the Demon Hunter classes made Hearthstone more enjoyable? Do you think that Blizzard is likely to make more classes in the future? No and yes at the same time. Yes, because get a new class, you can level up that again. Like the last time I leveled anything up was like 4 years ago. All the classes are level 60 since. Take every class, take the good aspects, put them into one class and then make it broken. So I expected a little better design than Outcast as a keyword. It's more like it's a better version of Rogue. At least it looks cool. Cubelog, Doomguard or no? In the current list of Cubelog, people don't play Doomguard anymore because this one is good enough. The beefy boy. Or beefy girl. Or beefy whatever they identify as. We are political. We are PC here. Go people. I would still play Doomguards. I hate Druids, and against Druids it's... You win with Doomguards. Maybe hear your opinion about the Darkness card. I have not crafted that in Golden yet. But it looks like one champion. One champion in League of Legends. Nocturne. Which, fun fact, was my first and favorite champion. Until I realized he has mana problems and he kinda sucks. But he looks similar, doesn't it? Also, look at this skin. I bought this like 7 years ago. I haven't played League in years. What YouTube channels do you skip? By Skip Arena. What I do actually is I look at all the Hearthstone channels, I think like once or twice a day, just to see the thumbnails. So we can be like, let's be smart and let's stick out kinda. So I skip none. What I think is the best all-round neutral card in Hearthstone currently? Novice Engineer? It draws a card. How good is Renounced Darkness? 10 out of 10. Shooting for 11. Would you add Lucky Generation to the Classic set? No and no. Lucky's... I don't know. I was watching a bunch of older Hearthstone videos recently, like by Amnesiac, by Reynard, by Wreckful, like the 2015, 2016 era. And so many games were decided by who makes better decisions. And a little bit of random stuff. But yeah, since Rise of Shadows a year ago, like the game is... I think the game is too random. Like I can't play competitively at all. Which is why I don't really want to aim for Legend. One of the main reasons. If I play to win and then my opponent gets a random Lucky into a random Dragon into a random, it's like, should I have played around that? It's impossible. So I feel like they should kind of delete Luckies, maybe. Just my opinion. Who is the Supremest Rafam? The Supreme Archaeologist or Ark Willem Rafam? Yes. This person here cheated. But they're smart because they just ask multiple questions. What is the worst card ever printed? I guess a Wicked Skeleton. It's a 4-mana 1/1. What mechanic do you want to see in Hearthstone? A graveyard. Like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like an actual graveyard. How would you change each class's identity? I wouldn't. What is your favorite dark? Renounced Darkness. No, not really. I really enjoy playing Arena Lock. But only because I wasted a bunch of money on the game and I just want to play for fun. Usually if I play Arena Lock, I also listen to music, which means I can't use that for YouTube. Which is why you don't see that on YouTube. What card should have never been printed? Vargheth. And Ice Block. And Timeout. All the cards that feel like, why does that exist? When you have the feeling like, did Blizzard needed to make that? No. The game was fine. I didn't miss that. Yeah, Team 5, please delete Vargheth. I hate the card so much. Why doesn't Blizzard reward players who are loyal to the game, but give people who don't play the game free decks? Ah, that is actually a really good point. Like, if you just log in like once every 3 days to do your dailies, you are pretty much as far as cards go as a player who plays daily for hours. Getting 10 gold for 3 wins, that's worthless. That's close to worthless. Let's say a pack is $1, just to make it easy, right? 100 gold, 100 cents. 1 gold is 1 cent. If you win 3 games, you get 10 cents. That's not worth your time. Even if you have half of minimum wage, just get a normal job and you get more. So even grinding for packs doesn't really make any sense. It would be wasting your time. There should be stuff that actually rewards you. Even if it's just an item, besides a card back, like an actual item or card or something that is, you have to play X amount of games to get it. Would be cool. They don't do it. I don't know why. Hearthstone has like X amount of million players and Blizzard is a multi-billion-dollar company. They probably know what they're doing. So there must be a reason. Who would win in a fight? 100 Snowflipper penguin-sized ancient ones or one ancient one-sized Snowflipper penguin? Big guy Snowflipper. Have you seen the artwork? That's horrifying. And that in gigantic? Whew. I would kill ya. Dmh Warrior, do you like me? No, go away. Do you think Blizzard should print cards that makes the opponent interact with you during your own turn? Or would it be too much? I mean, there are secrets, which is a good reply, but I don't think so, no. When I'm watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Streamers, Far From Distant Coder, and they play on Dueling Network book, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Site. And then they have to wait for their opponent to respond to anything. They have like 15 seconds each. Turns last like 5, 10, 20 minutes sometimes. I would like to not wait that long, just for my opponent to reply to every single thing I do. Like imagine you would have a card in your hand that reads, silence a Battlecry minion, so a Battlecry would not happen. But the opponent has 10 mana and plays 10 Battlecry minions that turn because, I don't know, magic. And then every single time we get 15 seconds. And it's like, do you want to do something against this? That would be too much. Also, it probably crashes some more by then. Why is it that when you play Lothar, while the opponent has Uzil on board, all these spells in the opponent's hand gain the 5 mana increase, but any that they draw cost 1 still? Coding. Not Hearthstone related, but how are you today? I slept for 4 hours. I was reading this book actually. I stayed up until like 4:30 AM just to read the book. It's not too bad. Do you think they should move any old cards to the classic set? For example, Lothar or Lich King. I don't play standard, so sure. I don't mind. But then probably the cards that are not broken. Like when they returned Nazoth to standard for 1 or 2 months last year, was that fun? I don't think so. It wasn't fun encountering a standard version of Big Priest. Things that are not broken. Like we just look at the card and be like, yeah, sure. I don't mind if I play that or not. What are your thoughts on the Tavern Pass and Hearthstone Battlegrounds in general? Battlegrounds, great mode if you like auto chess. And it's in Hearthstone. So you have the exact same launcher, you have the exact same game mode. You can just switch between. Personally though, while Battlegrounds is a great addition to it, I think it's just too repetitive. There should be a bigger variety of minions, but then there wouldn't be the consistency or you get triples, right? That there can only be X amount of cards in there, so you get triples guaranteed at some point. So you can't have too many, but you then only have to change things. Yeah, I don't know. I prefer building my own deck by making my decisions. So I can be like, well, if I encounter a bunch of aggressive decks, maybe I want to put in this card and then perhaps win. In Battlegrounds, it's more like, what do I get off it? And deal with that. How does your experience watching the Frozen movies shape your opinion of freeze effect? So I watched Frozen with Elsa about a year ago. And since then, I have to say that Morabi is not too bad. What am I supposed to answer here? Why do I always get bad matchups no matter what deck I play? Because you change decks, stick with one. What is the best classic legendary? Sylvanas and Ragnaros, which is why they're in the Hall of Fame. Right now, Tankmaster Overspark. You need RNG, but just get lucky. What expansion smells the best? Karazhan. Favorite board to play on? For whatever reason, I'm always on the GVG board. Like at least 50% of all the wild games are on the GVG board, with the rocket in the top left. Considering that you can launch the rocket, you can use the volcano in Un'Goro, you can use the gate in Rastakhan, and also the toes in Uldum. I would say the toes with the music in the bottom left. Just because I remember the sequence. Will Blade Flurry ever be returned to its original state? No, because Kingspan exists. How much money, euros, have you in Hearthstone? I assume spent or invested? And the answer is, don't ask how much money you spend, ask how much you make. And then let's pretend somebody asks now, how much money did you make from Hearthstone? Enough so my investment was positive. All about mindset. Why does Blizzard hate Paladin? Blue. What is the archetype that you never gave up on, even though it had a big gap in card support? Discard Warlock with the quest. And now we have discard mechanics like Hand of Gul'dan, the 5/5 rush thingy, probably something else. And yet, Lakari Sacrifice is still a horrible card. Why is Hearthstone? 7. How would you buff the Holy Trinity, Nat Pagle, Millhouse, Mana Storm, and Lawwalker Show? Make Call to Arms 4 mana again so you can summon all 3 earlier in the game. Why isn't Hearthstone speedrunning more popular by Mifa, who is speedrunning Hearthstone? Well, I'm sure you know the answer. It's random. It's a card game. You can't decide what you draw. Usually in speedrunning, you have just a little bit of RNG, but Hearthstone is 100% RNG. In terms of you draw cards in a specific order. That doesn't always happen. You draw cards randomly. If I speedrun against adventure bosses, which might be fun, and I just get the worst possible draw because Random. You want to restart like a 2-hour run because you didn't get lucky? Probably not. Why do you think they took the Hearthstone item from World of Warcraft to name a whole new game? Because every person gets that on like level 1 or so to return to somewhere? I don't know what it does. Maybe people just liked it. Or they wanted to sell more merch. What's your favorite race from World of Warcraft? I played, I think, a human hunter and a human mage because I'm human. Or an elf? I don't know, elf or something. But I constantly lose the will to grind out ranks every month. I think we all have this because you realize after like 4 games that I decided not by how well you play but by RNG. You just question your goals in the first place. Why did you want it to play? To reach a new rank, and then what happens? You get the rank? That was it? The reward is not really there. Like let's say I make it to legend for the first time. Feels great, I get a card back. That's it. That's all you get. It doesn't feel rewarding enough for the amounts of BS you have to go through. Would you put some great and fun old cards like Zilix, for example, in the classic set? No. There's a reason we have Wild. And I want more people to play Wild, so Blizzard actually cares about it. Like, fun fact, the 2 biggest Wild tournaments of the entire year so far were held by me. By me and Sparks and all the people who helped out. Blizzard, please, make like 7 billion plus in revenue. Just make a tournament. Forehead, make a tournament. Take like $1 million, make Hearthstone tournaments, done. Everybody happy. Will Paladin ever BBE good again in Standard? No. What could Blizzard do to make Hearthstone less pay to win? Like increasing the win rewards, dust value, and so on. It's not pay to win. The best decks are, most of the best decks are aggressive. You can play Pirate Warrior and Bite for the past 3 years and be rank 1 legend. You can play Standard and play, I guess, Rogue. There was Zeddy and Liquidox in the last few weeks who had like 5, 6, 7 days on a new account, like freshly new made account, and they got to top 100 legend. Or top 200, top something. Hearthstone is not pay to win. If you would like to enjoy the game and play a variety of different decks, then it's pay to play, but not pay to win. I hate the argument. It's not pay to win. Do you get an extra reward if you get first time legend in Wild, even though you already got the reward in Standard? Nope. Is Zephrys only meant for Standard? I used him in Wild at 10 mana with a Reno deck playing against a mage. And I had only 1 health. Not only did it not offer me Reno, it offered... So this question happens like once every few days or so when I stream on twitch.tv/Solem. Zephrys gives you classic and basic cards. Not every card in the game. I'm not sure how that is so hard, but apparently Blizzard did such a bad job at communicating that. It's like if you hover over a card in your collection manager, like Wild Growth, it doesn't tell you at 10 mana if you play it, you do get the spell that draws you an additional card. And people just don't understand Zephrys offers only classic and basic cards, nothing else. If you would get any card in the game, the card would be the best card ever made. Blizzard, please, make it so if you hover over things and they have an additional effect or reward, show it. It can't be so hard, show it. Which card have you completely forgotten about? Until recently, Sea Reaver. 6 mana, 6/7 epic for Warrior. Do the adventures deserve the amount of gold money they cost? Kinda, because you get guaranteed legendaries. But Blizzard should make it so you can just craft the cards immediately. For example, in Galakrond's Awakening, you can't just craft the cards, you have to buy the adventure, which sucks. Because most of the cards don't see play. Or only in specific classes, so... Do you want to spend 2,000 something gold just to get a few cards for classes I don't play? Not really. How did you come into Hearthstone? And what do you think about the new keyword mechanic? I always like when they use the wrong word, because the question sounds stupid then. But in short, story time. 2015, February. A friend of mine was like, hey, Hearthstone is a card game, you play Yu-Gi-Oh! Wanna test it? I was like, no, looks stupid. Then I watched Amas on Twitch. He played Arena or so. I downloaded the game. 2 days later, I might have bought like 80 packs or so and got 2 legendaries on Nixie and Jaraxxus. Disenchanted them because they kinda sucked. And then I just played Paladin for a year. So in short, through a friend. What made you gravitate to Wild rather than any other game mode? The fact that the cards that I paid money for are unplayable now because Blizzard decides to have Standard as a mode, which I think is stupid. Like imagine you would buy a car, and then a year later people would say, but you can't drive that, you need a new one. No, I have it, let me play it. What is the best way for new players to join Wild? You use your Standard deck and craft 1 card after another. Start with commons, not legendaries. You can craft 40 commons or 1 legendary. The 40 commons are more important than the 1 legendary. Unless it's Baku again, then you need the legendary first. Which card is terrible but you still love it? Or which card is your guilty pleasure? Annoyatron. Normal Annoyatron. Without max synergy, just the card. There's Taunt Divine Shield. It's annoying. Love it. What's your favorite deck ever? Random Mage during Karazhan. Actually, a deck made by Amas in 2015 that was called Fire and Ice Mage. I recently searched for that, and I found exactly 1 site that had the exact card. It was like a mid-range mage deck that played Water Elemental and Effigy as a secret. I just liked the flavor, And when I played Heroic next Rammus randomly against the final boss KT, who has 2 stages, I just thought, hey, I never bet this guy before. Let's play the Fire and Ice Mage deck, and I won against him. Also, I crafted the whole thing in gold. Do you think Blizzard will ever make Bonk and Death Knight a class in Hearthstone? No. Do you think the mechanic of seeing cards from the enemy's hand would be good in Hearthstone? You have Lazul. You have other cards that discover things. Sure. Least favorite legendary voice line? I have no idea. I guess Brightwing, it's too friendly. Let's be friends. What about no? Can a classic basic deck still compete? During my expansion speedruns, I played a classic and basic deck like 3 times or so. In the last 3 ones. Yeah, but you can only play Murlocs. Or as much early game as possible until your opponent does not clear your board. If you mean compete going from Bronze 10 to Bronze 9? Yes, it can. Favorite common card? Probably Cobalt Librarian, because I played it so often. Is there an order of operations you should follow by playing your cards? Should I summon first, then attack, attack, then summon? Spell, attack, summon. Who is Reno? Order lol. Do you think these generation chains in Priest and Rogue are healthy? Like you generated by luck, you generate? No. No, it isn't. You follow a similar game plan, but if I randomly get my random into random, what do you even play? So I recently saw a clip from day 9 from like 3 or 4 years ago about Hearthstone, which was this moment right there.
There's nothing to learn! This just sucks is what this is. I hate this random shit. Fuck!
He didn't like random back then, and it's a lot worse now. If you would like to compete and win games and then it's just, sorry, but you can't play around anything ever, where's the point? How does one get good at Hearthstone by playing meme decks? Look at what your opponent plays, which meme card can you use to answer? Is MC tech good if your opponent plays Zoo? Probably. Pick your meme tech choices. How would you describe Wild Ladder, Constructed Ladder, Arena, and Battlegrounds to a non-Hearthstone player? Wild is broken, Standard is random, Arena is random, and Constructed is random. And Battlegrounds is random. Bunch of random. Do you think that the monthly rewards are good? You get like 6 packs now? Like even 10 packs doesn't do that much. You get like half a legendary with that. Half a legendary at 10 packs. I think you should just get a legendary every single season. Of your choice. Just so people actually play. But it should be a reward for playing the game, so. Just give us more free stuff. If you became the CEO of Blizzard, what would you do to change Hearthstone first? Oh, number 1, and this is the easiest thing ever. I would make, listen to it, a poll for player feedback. Innovative ideas. I would really just announce in the game itself, not just on Reddit or on Twitter, directly in the game. Hey, we as a company, we want feedback. Then you have a bunch of options to choose from. You choose that, you also get a reward as a player if you take at least X amount of time to fill it out. So you don't just click on something random. Then you have the results, you see what people like, what people don't like. There's a 60-minute talk by Mark Rosewater, the guy from Magic the Gathering, which is called 20 Lessons in 20 Years, or 20 Years, 20 Lessons. Really interesting talk. He talks about the things that he learned as a card game designer. And he has so many good things to talk about, where I feel like, well, if Hearthstone had that, would be a way better game. And then I look at Hearthstone and I'm like, well, something is missing. A lot, actually. Can we get that, please? What's the deal with Demon Hunter? They exist. You're now working for Blizzard and have to come out with a new class idea and some card examples. What is the theme and how would it work? Here's my idea. I go to r/custom Hearthstone cards, whatever it's called, the subreddit for custom things, and take the best idea. That's it. Because you implement something the people who play the game made. So make them happy, and you have a good idea. Works perfectly. Do you see this? There's a circle. The circle of life. And of taking custom Hearthstone cards. Can you play a Guzzler deck? Guzzler is a 6-mana 3/6 that has a horrible effect. If the card would be 4 mana, the card would be normal. Make the card cost less. Or do you like Hearthstone over other card games? In all honesty, because it looks pretty. And it's easy to understand. Like the longest card text has like what, 10, 12 words? Look at Yu-Gi-Oh! Look at this card. It has like 100 plus words. And you have 40 cards like that in your deck. Also cards are golden and they look shiny. What archetype should be made in an upcoming set that will be played mainly for its artworks? I guess cats and dogs? People like pets? Who is the greatest Dinomancer? This man. Do you know any good Wild Reno Mage decks? I don't. Favorite RNG card? Probably Renounced Darkness. Total wins. I have this many on EU and that many on America, so like 18, 19, 20k. I lost more games than I won, so I played like 40,000 games. Why can't we make this Warlock quest work? They both work, they're just not that good. If you could add a tribe to the game, what would it be and why? I would add zombies because I played that archetype in Yu-Gi-Oh! And because they have graveyard mechanics and I like the graveyard a lot. Which does not really exist in Hearthstone. Hearthstone, please make a graveyard. What does the Blink Fox say? Aroo. What card surprised you the most from reveal to gameplay? Cthulhu not being that good, even though he was pretty badass, like 4 years ago when you saw him the first time. And Shavala actually being playable. And a fun deck, which is turn 5, Holy Wrath, aim phase, win the game. Which card is the best to simp about and which one is the worst? Number 1 would be Queen of Pain. The worst one would be Duskfallen Aviana, because she benefits your opponent first. Play with OTK also. Who do you think would win in a standard duel, you or Regis? Play with OTK is probably Grim Patron and Blood Troll Sapper, because it's pretty hard to set up. And then a standard duel against Regis, well, not leaking DMs or anything, but we once planned a duel. The Regis against Solem series. But that was like a few months ago, so it doesn't go anywhere. In short, he would win. He has more beard. I mean, look at my smile, which is like, And then look at his smile. That's a happy man. Happy man, happy mindset, happy place. That's something to live by. How to fix Priest. Make the Resurrect mechanic interact with the graveyard. Please make a graveyard. Best and worst expansion. Worst, Rastakhan, because the overkill keyword is horrible. And best, Whispers. Best and worst RNG cards. Best one Renounce, worst one Renounce, because it's random. What was the worst good deck in Hearthstone history? I guess Water Rogue, in case you didn't play 3 years ago, was you played Murlocs and Pirates because of Finger in Rogue. But it was really specific, so you had to draw Finger to get your War Leader into your Murkai or War Leader into Bluegill. And that was like, alright, but it wasn't that consistent. At least as far as I remember. Which hero portrait would you most like to smash? Valera. What's the highest skill ceiling deck you've played? No joke, probably just normal combo priest. Divine Spirit and a Fire combo priest. As of recent. Reason is, you have to know when do you play, how many spells with your Pyromancer, how much damage do you deal, like when do you do anything. Like every single card matters. You could just say, well, take the opponent's minion, double Divine Spirit and a Fire win, which is sometimes true. But playing it correctly is pretty hard. Are you broad? Do you think the new game mode will be a 2v2 format? No way. If you look at Hearthstone Mobile, which crashes every single time there's any patch, or there is any card that has a bug, I don't think 2v2 would ever work. How would you like or design Highlander effect cards for Rogue, Shaman, Warrior, and Demon Hunter? I would not make them. Why the name of the game is Hearthstone? Because the Hearthstone is in World of Warcraft. How do you win at Hearthstone? Reduce the opponent's life total? Was Demon Hunter a good addition to the game in your opinion? Kinda. Why do you stream Hearthstone? Oh, that's a good question. Okay, this might be a longer video on my second channel. You heard correctly, there's a second channel, which is also called Solem. But there's a second channel. I think I will make a video about why I play Hearthstone or stream Hearthstone. Started playing, like my story behind that. Or I just make it here. Anyways, I have a second channel. I want to post stuff that is not Hearthstone related there. So I guess I'll make a video here about why. This one deserves its own video. Why I stream it and why I play it. Well, keep on playing it. How do you feel about the pay-to-have fun system that seems to bog down opinions for free-to-play players? Blizzard, give us more free cards. What do you think if we could be able to choose when to activate our secrets? That would be buggy. Let's say it's like a trap card in Yu-Gi-Oh then. And the opponent plays a spell and you could draw 2 cards. But the opponent is going to play 87 spells that turn. How long do you have to respond? 10 seconds? And if you have 10 seconds, your opponent knows or is pretty sure what secrets you can have. How does the turn limit work? There are more questions and more things to come up than just saying like, yeah, sure, would be cool. What is your favorite card art? Probably Mal'Ganis, but only because it's in golden and looks really shiny. What period of Hearthstone do you miss the most? For me, it's got to be before Questmate. For me, it's just the period when there was Radio Kappa, there was Wreckful, Force and Nim, all of them playing Hearthstone 2015, 2016. Reynard had fun in the game. Pretty much when we had Hearthstone streams on Twitch that are more than just, I play Hearthstone, period. When you had those big names, those entertaining people in itself. I miss those days. How far can the power level of cards rise? They probably increase everything a little bit per year, so infinite. Are 4 golden legendary decks worth crafting and why are they the best? They suck. They're horrible. How do you feel about the experience for new players nowadays? Apparently it got a lot better because you get a free deck. I don't know, I'm not free to play. It's great. Why is Hearthstone getting more and more expensive to play? It doesn't. It tells me you play standard. Stop playing that. Play wild. It's free. Forever. If you're a new player, which packs are the best to purchase for standard and wild? Also hi YouTube. Well, update a video on that soon as well. In short, if you play standard, just the newest expansion. If you play wild, probably the newest expansion. Or Knights of the Frozen Throne. Reason is you have Death Knights, and Death Knights are pretty good. What is the best 0 mana 1/1 minion? Snowflipper. Any cards you want to see buffed or nerfed? Yes. What is your favorite card summon quad? And what is your favorite card attack quad? Attack quote is from this bad card over there, which yells, ready to rumble. And my favorite playing sound is, I can ease your pain by, I think, Queen Mistress of Pain. What card do you think is the most underrated in terms of fun and also in terms of viability? Tinkmaster Overspark. Thank you for your videos, no worries. Do you play Wild since the creation of this mode? Yes, I do. The moment Wild was introduced, I was like, well, I always play the mode with less players, so let's play that. Sounds like more fun. What mechanic had the most wasted potential? Overkill. Is the climb easy in Wild or Standard? Assuming you can craft multiple tier 1 decks. Always Wild. In Wild you have like a 70% plus win rate if you get to Legend. What actions does Blizzard or the community have to take in order to have Wild be a competitive format? I don't know how many people are in the Team 5 that make decisions, or who makes the decisions in general, but the person who makes decisions needs to change his mindset. They should see how many % of players play Wild, and then be like, well, Hearthstone makes X amount of hundreds of millions a year. Let's invest 1% of that to make that better. Is there something you always wanted in Wild? Banning a class before you start playing. If I hate Priest, and I'm at rank 5, and I concede instantly against Priest because I just don't want to play against it, let me ban the class from appearing. Can you make a deck where your goal is to fill the 60 card cap with Nat Pagal? Yes. I'm at a Renounced Darkness deck, and I keep on losing. Any tips? Nope. Why is Crypt never lucky? Because he plays Battlegrounds. How to balance Quest, Mage, and Wild? Delete the quest. I don't know, make it like 10 spells. Huge patches involving Battlegrounds, and daily quests telling us to play 2 Battleground games. Why is Battlegrounds? It's still a part of Hearthstone and being forced-fed Honors Hearthstone card game slingers. They have a new mode and they have something to promote it with, which is Hearthstone itself, so they use Hearthstone. Just implement it there. It's like me saying, hey, wanna subscribe? If you're already here, I mean, apparently you watched until now, and maybe you aren't subbed yet, so maybe you want to. See? That might work. Do you feel like it's healthy for the game when matches are decided by randomly generated cards? Only to a certain extent. If you play in high legend, no. If you play for fun, yes. A Bass Paladin skin, Liadrin, because I played multiple hours World of Warcraft until level 20 to get that. What decks used to be able to easily get you to legend, which just can't compete anymore? Darkest Hour Warlock, because Bloodbloom got nerfed? Why do people unconditionally BM? Even when I'm playing the worst tier homebrews, I get BM'd on more than not. Is it BM, or does the opponent just finish a quest? Think about it. Is your opponent thinking that he BMs? Are you the only person in the matchup of 2 that thinks the opponent is BMing? What if it's just the way you think about the game? What if your opponent just has more fun? What if the opponent plays to his outs? What if he didn't see lethal and then he sees it? How long do you expect Hearthstone to last? I'm considering stopping, but I haven't decided whether or not yet. Played since 1 set after Classic. That's a long time. Generally had full sets all along the way as well. I won't mind stopping. I mean, Frodo in his tweet said something 10 years of Hearthstone. World of Warcraft is how old? 13, 16 something years. Hearthstone is a card game which looks pretty great. I guess because it's a Blizzard game, it will be there for a long time. I would give it at least 2 more years. Which means we have like a time of 1 to 2 years to become a variety streamer on my second channel. I want to follow the second channel. Do you think there should be more 1 and 2 cost minions that generate 1 cost minions so everyone could curve out better now that Demon Hunter can curve out extremely well? Random. No. Choose any card. How would you change the card to make it viable today? How would you make these choices? Biteweed, give it +2/+2, like Edwin. It's Wild exclusive and nobody plays Edwin in Wild, so maybe you would have that in your deck. Done. Which classes do you think should be hard reworked? All of them. So they have class identity that is actually true. What do you think is better, Reno Priest variant, an Amara variant, or a non-Amara variant? Without Amara. Just get your combo and win. You have Anduin at 0 mana, hero power for a reason. Raza's good. Again, don't play Amara. Name top 5 of your favorite Wild streamers and why is Dane number 1? So, for Wild, we got Jack, JRHSK8. We got Dane, obviously. We have Ruffle, my older stepbrother. We got Goku. We got, like, a bunch more. But I gotta make a choice for number 5, which is going to be... I will skip a lot of people, so I guess get me out. What is the most frustrating card to play against? Vargheth or Ice Block. Because you basically win the game, but then you don't, because reasons. Where can you learn deck building for Standard or Wild? Build your own deck. Look at the deck that got to rank 1 Legend. See which cards are missing in their deck and that is in your deck, and then ask yourself why. That's it. Or you go to twitch.tv/ to any stream on Twitch. Any Legend player and just ask. Like really. If you just go to Twitch and ask people a normal question, they will respond in most cases. Hearthstone streams are really laid back. People will read your comment. Do you think you will play Hearthstone in 5 years from now? In all honesty, If the variety stuff works out, I will go back to the game very likely every now and then. But full time, as of right now, it depends. The problem is, I play Hearthstone for the past 5 years, and playing the exact same games, just with new reskinned cards, it's not that interesting. It's still fun, but only for a few hours. For example, when I started streaming 1.5 years ago, I streamed for like 6 to 8 hours a day, just because I really enjoyed playing the game. But right now, if I stream for like 4 hours, I'm pretty much done. The most broken deck that the world has never seen. According to a 2017 interview with Ben Broad by Wired, there was a Dmh Warrior in GVG 2014-2015 that was the best deck in playtesting, but nobody ever played on ladder. Favorite adventure? Karazhan, because in the very first week you had chess. People like Karazhan a lot in the first week. It was so promising, and then week 2, 3, and 4, when the next wings got released, they were really disappointing. Why did you stop clapping? At some point, things get old. It's like the meme with Bart that is like, do the thing or say the line. Like, hey Solem, do this. How do I go legend with Dmh Warrior? You know your matchups and know how you lose games, and then you put cards in to not lose those games. Then you win. How many deck archetypes can you fit into a deck? Like Odd, Thief, Stealth, Nomi, Reno, Double Quest, Rogue. Every card that makes an archetype itself, put that into Shutterbox Shaman, and be happy. Do you play other card games? I don't. I watch Yu-Gi-Oh! On Twitch when I watch Far and Distant Coda, and I don't know most of the cards that I see there. And I played Gwent in The Witcher 3 itself, and I lost every single game. I know you're mainly a white player, but what do you think is the best class to invest in? If I only want to play control big decks, because I'm bad at aggro and don't enjoy playing it, I would say Priest? Priest can always be control heavy. They have bot clears. Priest or Warlock? Are Hearthstone cards illegally manufactured by the innkeeper in his basement? Yes. How come you enter the inn and don't buy a drink ever? You just sit on your table and play a card game against people. Poor innkeeper is keeping you warm with his fire, and you don't give him a single GP. Instead, you meet some black market dealer called Blizzard and buy packs. Life is unfair. Did you ever quit the game for a certain period of time because the meat was just too unfun? The meat? Hell yeah. Again, gonna make a video about my story about Hearthstone, but in short, before I started streaming in September 2018, I wanted to sell my account. See? That's an interesting intro for a story you can hear soon. Will you play Hearthstone to the day you die? Probably not, just a card game. And with that, we are done. Fun fact, this recording is 1 hour and 5 minutes that I have to cut down. With me, I mean maybe my editor. Thank you for your questions on Twitter at solemhs or whatever my name is there. Appreciate you guys. Bunch of things mentioned throughout the video. So we're going to make a custom card contest. We have a second channel. We stream on Twitch. We have a Twitter. My video about why I still play Hearthstone or memories about Hearthstone, things like that. Until then, see you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, the stuff people always tell you. Sponsored video about some game that you probably like soonish. Take care. And here are 2 claps.